everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Plumgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Plumgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen. It will never.
They'll be calling you a radical. Hi, Kevin Blanch, Post Ignorance Radio. We have a lot to talk about today, a lot to talk about the Dogma. All you people in California, I hope you're awake and up. Blue. I wear that blue headband around my head. As you guys know, when I was getting chemoed into the darkest depths of chemo hell, I put that on because I told you I was going to dye my hair blue in honor of the mighty blue Pacific, which I did. You guys know I did. But I don't have much hair left on my entire body from the byproduct of the chemo, and scar tissue chemo burned through the top of my head and scarred me dramatically. That's why I wear that thing. We have a lot to talk about. I hope you're awake, and I hope you can crawl out of your Dogma SNUGGIE, because you're all in one. Everybody's in one. You know, I got thinking a lot this morning about my dad. You know, we can't go on together with suspicious minds. When I was a little boy, growing up with these beautiful, beautiful parents, my Semper Fi Marine father, he looked just like him. He really did. Just muscles all over. This incredible, beautiful person. We lived out on the ranch, out on by the edge of the lake. My beautiful, sexy artist mother, curves all over. Vargas himself, the Woodbury artist she was, a pinup artist, beautiful pinup artist, would say, not only should she draw like a camera, she could have been her own model. They would listen to records when we were kids. It was music. That's what we got raised with, listening to records. You know, and we would sing, us little kids, you know, 4 of us little kids. My dad would cook, and then the nuclear fucking cartel killed him. The end. They fucked me up. I watched him have these incredible seizures at the kitchen table with the West Sun out of the Nevada burning on the back of his neck. You know, we're working on that ranch farm, and these incredible violent seizures. Into the vet's VA's hospital for months at a time. Amnesia for months at a time. When I was a little kid, sometimes I'd only get to see him once every 2 weeks on Tuesday. We'd go down there. Then I realized, it took me a long time to realize that they were still fucking human guinea pigging him. And me. And my siblings. And they were abusing my mother hardcore. Like they abused Megan Rice. That's what the nuclear cartel does. That's who they are. They're evil fucks. And I hate them. Oh, do I hate them with a deep-rooted fucking passion in my soul. Oh, curse the spite that I was ever born to set this right. I'm going to start talking more about finance and economics as I'm starting to, maybe recover and heal As you know, that's what I was all about. I have a deep-rooted passion for finance and economics. In a logical way, not in a hyperbole spin, Glenn Beck, lick your gold bars, financially destroy you. I got in a huge argument yesterday with this moron here telling me how brilliant Glenn Beck was. Yeah, really fucking brilliant when he told you to sell your Dow at 6,300 because there was a half-black man, half-white man becoming president, who, by the way, is the greatest Republican president in history. He's past Bill Walmart Clinton. I said, are you kidding? Let's see. It's called opportunity cost in the finance world. Let them keep breaking you. You want to, we can't go on together with suspicious minds. I don't play suspicion. I know. Well, I'm one of these, I want to see it, guys. Oh, I see it in Fukushima. You guys can spin in your hyperbole and throw it all over. It's like when I met Megan Rice in Nevada years ago. My girlfriend, stripper, feminine, about as beautiful as they get. Really beautiful. Oh my God, she was always so worried about me, so worried. And I says, I don't care what you do, girl. I don't play suspicion. I don't. I never have. People are going to do what they do. I live my life in a confident style it took me a long time through this battle and this fight of the nuclear cartel. It took a long time, a lot of ups and downs in my life. Millionaires to poor to millionaire to poor. I mean, so many cycles, so many circles, closed, opens, as I say to East 8 on its side. East 8, the bone marrow transplant center. 8, the symbol for infamy. Orange, the giant orange East 8. One day I'll explain to you about the New York Giants and why I rooted so hard for them to make that comeback and win. And then number 8, I always fall back to Russell Means. And if any of you don't know who he is, Google him. By the way, recently passed. The Native American. He said it just like this. I think it's something that has burned through me for a long, long time. You got to realize I grew up in Ogden, Utah. My mom worked at the Intermountain Indian School. I knew the beautiful, beautiful Navajos. So many of them pure. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. There was such a piece of our culture growing up on this ranch in Utah. It was still new. The Native American dynamic was very powerful here still. Very, very powerful. He said, as Russell Means, you capture a wolf, you put him in a cage. He will fight that cage. He won't eat. He'll circle, he'll bite and chew them cage bars until he's dead. You take a baby wolf and have him born in the cage. He will live comfortably in the cage. I've always got that. They're never fucking caging me. Never. Never. Even with their leukemia in my body. Somehow my leukemia pushed out and formed in tumors. It took me a long time, even through this fight, to realize what that was. That's my wolf spirit. That's my wolf spirit. I have a team of doctors down there. It's Danish philosophy of medicine by default. A guy named Finbo Peterson runs it from Copenhagen, from Denmark, from northern Denmark is my bloodlines. Old bloodlines. Vincent Hansen, this incredible, beautiful, beautiful doctor who saved my life. I've traveled around a lot and I've got to learn something. In Tennessee I learned a lot. Tennessee, when the ice storm hit, people sliding all over and, the judge closed the courtroom. That's a whole other subject matter. We'll get into that. People wouldn't get out and help each other. It's 10 times worse than that every day here in Utah. People get out and help each other. Yeah, fundamentally, the repressors here in Utah, the cops love to kill and shoot people on there. The fucking military, they're fucking punks. We know that a lot of them, but a lot of them are good. Most people fundamentally here are very good. It's that California spirit. I've always felt it. That Western spirit. The Western United States is very different than the Eastern United States. It's big, it's wide open, it's broad. People are hard, they're rough. I equate a lot to Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, I can really relate. It was said by, I think it was Joan, what's her name, Joan, that said about Brooklyn. It has that really hard, freaking tough, nasty edge to it. I'm like, if that has a nasty, hard edge to it, come here. What are we? But fundamentally, people are hard or tough, but they love each other. They watch out. They watch each other's backs when it's right down. Now, the Mormon Church doesn't. The Mormon Church is a fraud. People who think that the Mormon Church will come to your side and they're these great socialists as far as their people, they're liars. They used to be. When I was a boy, my grandfather, the huge rancher, ran the Mormon welfare farms, which it was very socially, for free, by the way. I come from the most infamous Mormon bloodlines that without my very first grandparents that were here, there would be Mormon Church. They've completely lost their way, just like the evangelicals have completely lost it. The evangelicals want to secure everything with a gun, sort of the Mormons. But that's not the people at the fundamental core. And you got to realize that less than half of the population here are Mormons. And not only that, participating Mormons who actually go to church on a Sunday, 14%. But there's a fundamental caring in the Western United States. It's still there. It's still there. So we can't go on with suspicious minds. We can't. I think Dwight Yoakam, when he redid Suspicious Minds of Elvis, that video is powerful, powerful. Those music videos in those days were such a precursor to art, and they went away. Why they went away? All the love and the good and the art and the culture went away. We replaced it with corporate art, with corporate everything. That video, when he's spinning the wheel and it comes up suspicious, oh, we have a loser. I'm not suspicious. I don't play suspicion. Oh, the oligarchs from above are organized and orchestrate. Well, maybe that's true, but there's only one way they can do it. We feed them. We feed them like the dogmatic sheep that we are. Here it is. Here it is. You can take the teabagger Neil Kahn freaking beat the wars, kill, when they couldn't even get out a map and tell you where Iraq was. We slaughtered the people in the name of Jesus. Really, Megan Rice represents this so much. As Pete Seeger died the day she was being sentenced, the peace movement. Anybody who drove around with a yellow sticker and supported that, yeah, you got tricked. But you kept going along with it. I don't forgive. Well, maybe I do forget. Who am I to forgive? Surely don't forget. You want to rebrand yourself with a gun? Go for it. You want to be so suspicious that everything's orchestrated from and above? What a crutch. We have tools. Remember in the 90s, we took apart that evil piece of dog shit, the biggest thief in human history, Bill Gates. We took him apart. Remember the Justice Department took him on. They're called antitrust laws. They're a reason we have antitrust laws. So this doesn't happen. What did W do when he stole the election? He did not win. Of course, freaking pussy-ass piece of shit Al Gore, one of the greatest frauds. I mean, like we had any choices. I mean, think about him. Tried to rape 2 different massage therapists. Chipper, that beautiful Tennessee soul, divorced his ass. You know, it's so obscene. It's so obscene. Alito's and Roberts, illegitimate Supreme Court. They're totally illegitimate. Supreme Court nominees from a president that was totally not, and that's not commentary, that's fact. That's fucking fact. All 7 independent, including the League of Women Voters, and fact. Their study was due out September 20th, 2001. Oh, yeah. And the New York Times buried it on the 7th page. Of course, at least they put it in. I didn't see the Washington Post put it anywhere. I didn't see credibility not needed anywhere. CBS out with a thing. You online guys are fear-mongering. CBS. This is the company who fired the greatest reporter who went into Vietnam with the troops and broke the back of the military industrialized complex, fucking liars, for saying that Dan Rather said that W. Bush was a fucking draft dodger when George Bush was a fucking draft dodger. So to tell the truth, you get fucking fired by these monsters, these evil fucks. To Jan Brooks and Christina Cancelo, who have been on this from day one, as I have been all over this from day one, I dropped the ball on everything else because nothing else matters. It's a hierarchy. Don't you think Megan Rice gets that? Megan Rice, the protege of Dorothy Day, raised by Dr. Rice, her incredible family, her incredible fruits. Don't you think she knows it, just like I know it? I know it. She knows it. She's going right to the top, right to the top. The greatest human rights issue in history, the hierarchy of needs, is air that you breathe. You know, we would listen to records, me and my little twin sisters and my brother, 4 of us, little blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids, my dark Dane father. We would dance and we would sing till the fucking nuclear cartel killed him. The end. That's what they're doing to us. That's what they're doing to the Pacific Ocean. You ignorant fucks who participate in this black and yellow journalism, that's my term, black and yellow journalism, which is not yellow journalism, it's black and yellow journalism, which means, yeah, you have the right to report anything you want, but to use your media platform as a weapon, which Sanjay Gupta did on March 26, 2011. He was over there. He come home, I have the transcript, and it's funny, they pulled the transcript down from CNN. They pulled it down till we captured, and a whistleblower I kept calling. I did hundreds of videos. We got to find it. Somebody's got it. Somebody from inside CNN sent it to me. I posted it. I read it online. I got it everywhere. It's just like when the whistleblower from inside the air and water monitoring at Cal Berkeley whistleblowed to me. And then, boom, magically after I read it online, there it appears. That's how these fucks play. Fukushima, 3/11/11 is worse today than it was yesterday. You guys I love how these guys will, in print media, they come out, here's the game they play. They come out, and they'll quote, scientists say it's okay. And that rat scum, Ken, from Woodholes, and I'll tell his story. There was a woman who left this giant endowment to Woodholes, to Pacific, long before she left it in her will. He blew $10 million. Now he's out begging for money again to freaking do his studies when he is a shill. Chris Busby is a shill. Ani Gunderson is a shill. Helen Caldecott, don't even get me going on her. Wow. They're not anti-nuclear. Sierra Club's pro-nuclear. Greenpeace is pro-nuclear. You know, it's like the Post-Ignorance Project, my baby. The opposite of the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Y12. Right behind my house is the secret Moxie fuel plant on our family ranch. I remember I'm like 13, 14. Back in those days on that family ranch, there weren't even roads out there. You know, the community out there, we did what we wanted. Out there on the edge of the lake, thousands and thousands of acres over that lake, all over that beautiful causeway, all over that incredible dynamic. I mean, the landscape here is spectacular, like no other on earth. All over. You know, you didn't have to steal your dad's car. You know, on the ranch farm, there's 35 vehicles laying around. You just went hot-wired one, and away you went. Or you rode a horse. We had race horses all over our ranch. My incredible aunt, the surgical nurse, the neurosurgeon, the incredible heart doctor, one of the first guys to ever, my uncle, to do invented bypass surgery, one of the guys, who, by the way, ironically, only person in our whole family who died of heart disease. The ironies. He saved my life from the grave. He told me for years, don't let them open you. Do not let them open your body ever. You know, he'd written books and went on. This is a surgeon. Don't let them open your body. These monsters all they do is cut and gut. It was his ex-business partner who saved my life. His Danish philosophy medicine, Vincent Hansen. His bloodlines, my bloodlines, Dr. Fimbo Peter's bloodlines, all to the same northern Denmark community. Danish philosophy medicine, very different than America. I got lucky that he had just set up that new Danish philosophy. It's a team effort. Somebody says, oh, I don't believe your wolf spirit thing. Well, you don't understand. Let me explain it. Danish philosophy medicine believes a lot in the subconscious. They believe in the mind will tell you. The mind, if you listen to your own subconscious in your mind. As I say, my path was set in stone long before I was conceived. And oh, was it? Because my father was human guinea pig like a rat in the Nevada test site by the nuclear cartel. They don't give a fuck about anybody. They don't care about their own family. They don't care about it. These are evil, evil people. The Eugene McCarthy freaking mentality has spilled over. And here in Utah, just like over there, I was asked, this is right by Megan Rice's niece, young Megan, who, by the way, is a brilliant woman. She comes from brilliant stock. Dr. Rice, her mother, brilliant, genius people, brilliant. Upper East High Manhattan, Catholic workers store, the brilliant of the brilliant. You know, she's like, where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? I said, don't you know they're in the club? Utah has a club. She said, what do you mean? I said, the anti-nuclear establishment here, who grew up in the 50s and the 60s, they have this little passive-aggressive club. They're in the club. They write books like Helen Candicott. They write books like Gundershield, like freaking Busby. They have a club. They don't want anybody in that fucking club. They made a lot of money. They have museums and art shows because they go in the downwinder atomic thesis like it's the past. And and look at us. They've made a fortune of it. Well, here's what I say about their club. I crashed their fucking party and I kicked the fucking door down. Because that's what I do. I love Plowshares, but Plowshares has made some very flawed mistakes because they circled the wagons and they refused to expand their base. They didn't let young people in. Same with the freaking so-called university anti-nuclear establishment here. They teach it in past tense. And how the fuck can you teach it in past tense? You teach it in present tense and future for at least 24,500 years. That's the half-life of plutonium. You forgot what a downwinder was? Well, let me here to fucking tell you, plutonium didn't forget. These mountains don't just catch snow. It's where the wind blows. It's where the water flows. I've ranted and raved about southern Utah. The two number one industries in Utah right now, tourism, cancer treatment. John Huntsman, the Huntsman Center, the biggest cancer research facility in the world right now, right here in Salt Lake. Did I go there? I went there for a consultation. They're still trying to sue me for $1,400 for a phone conversation. They're frauds. Read into their charter. Now think about this. Huntsman Chemical. Yeah. Styrofoam containers. They've released more benzene into the freaking atmosphere than any company in history on Balco. That's them. That's them. You think it's overcompensation? John Huntsman Sr., one of the richest men on earth. His mother died of cancer, very young. Oh, yeah. I think he knows deep down in his side how many people he's killed. In their charter, they cannot research the causation of cancer, only the cure of cancer. My doctor, the first day I went in there in critical condition on 11/11/11, 3 11s. That's when I went into the bone marrow transplant. In critical condition, a red 10, given no hope to live. Miracle after miracle. That Danish philosophy of medicine saved me. The first word in there was, Kevin, you want to go to the Huntsman, eat the good food, stay at the hotel? Go ahead. You want to live? You come here. I'll take fucking living. Samuel Peterson overrode one. Vincent Hassan overrode supposedly the best pathologist in the country, who said that I had carcinoma cancer, metastasized in my liver, and sent me home to die. I saw the worst of the worst. There's 3 doctors right here in this town. And if I told my attorney, I told him multiple times, I'll end up doing the time first. They better hope I die while I'm in here, because if I get out and I have a run, I'm going to knock them the fuck out. Told me nothing was wrong. I mean, these fuckers, the way they abuse me and treat me right here at McQuack D, the KD is a Quackville. Don't go there if you live in Ogden. Do not go there. The emergency room is Quackville. They're ideologues. They'll fucking send you home to die. They will fucking kill you. It's like when I was doing my treatment, you know, I had 2 staph infections in my central line. That's how people die. They says, well, you can do some of the treatment right there by your house at McQuack D. No, I'll drive the 40 miles to LDS every day. The LDS Church does not own it. It's an old hospital. The same, it's Danish philosophy of medicine. Again, Russell Means, the wolf spirit. Danish philosophy believes this, the subconscious. I knew something was wrong with me. I'm ranting and raving the day that Fukushima happened, going crazy. There's a reason I went crazy in my intense style, the language I use, and I look back on it as the artist I wouldn't change one thing. I'm amazed at how intense and how beautifully and how spectacularly I did it as an artist. As the counterculture matched the culture. As the post-ignorance matched the ignorance. As they wanted to go blow to blow with me and Jan and Christina. We went blow to blow with those fuckers. Jan Brooks, for free, for nothing. Christina, for free, for nothing. We've asked for supporters to step up. Yeah, a small group of people step up. I had an activist in San Francisco send me $2,000. Lonnie Clark up in Eugene. She paid for my trips. Margaret Stover sent me $1,000 in Australia. John Kirk sent me $1,000 in Canada. A few people have sent me $100. Brian in upstate New York sent me $100. A few others. There's been a couple anonymous $100 in the mail. But we've done it for free. Why in critical condition I have been? We went toe-to-toe in a heavyweight fucking battle from hell as they're funded with unlimited sums of money. The IAEA, the Chernobyl playbook, they spent $4 billion on the propaganda war. They hijacked the IAEA, is the nuclear cartel. The World Health Organization is the nuclear cartel. They've left no I undotted and no T uncrossed. Academia, the nuclear cartel. So it's been us on islands, us freelancers with no money, going toe-to-toe in a heavyweight. We're fucking Cinderella Man? Oh, fuck yeah, Cinderella Man. You fucking right, Cinderella Man. Every time they've come out, I've countered. They come out with a propaganda lie machine, Eric Lax and Peter Gale in fucking L.A. We had a long conversation about them, too, young Megan and me, in the Knoxville, Tennessee airport. The propaganda machine, those fucking whores that they are, lying evil fucks. They're eating their own now. But we fuel them. We fuel them because, okay, and I'll prove this to you. Here I can prove to this, the American ignorant fools that they are. You have a conversation with somebody about this 1% funnel up and these people that are orchestrating. Number one, they'll be shopping at Walmart, the new East Indian Company. But then the same person, you'll have a conversation about tariffs. Oh, well, because they're branded. They're branded on their fucking brain like the dogmatic sheep they are. You can't have a conversation about that. Oh, yeah, free market. You know, I got an argument about gold yesterday with this guy. Well, gold, the Indians and the Chinese use a lot of that gold. They buy it. They love it for jewelry. Yeah. 37 cents an hour, you can buy a lot of fucking gold. It's a fucking lie. They've overproduced it so grotesque. I was taught never to worship fucking gold idols. That's what you do. Alexander Hamilton had 8 employees. George Washington had 2. The Coast Guard was the first thing we did. The Constitution, 226 years old. Not long, right after that. Did the Bill of Rights come next? No. The Tariff Act, right on the heels of the Constitution. Read it. To incentivize buying homemade goods. To pay off the debt. We were always a tariff country because tariffs, as the argument's gone on for 1,000 years. Bill Maher, Warren Clinton, Oxford, Oxford, the anti-tariff university, all the money from 9/11 funneled right back to those people, the same people, too big to jail, and you're told it right in your face, you don't care. But no, it's all orchestrated by puppet masters from above. This guy tried to tell me, oh yeah, the remote control planes, and those people are also like, by the way, I know 2 people that were killed on that very, very intimately and very, very personally. Very personally. I was teaching at Weber State at the time. I had just left Wall Street. I was right there on that dynamic. One of my students was killed that day at the Pentagon. He was killed. Yeah. Was it a conspiracy after the fact? Oh, yeah. Before the fact, probably, yeah. Obviously, by definition, 20 people, yeah, they orchestrated it. They were funded. People bought puts on the airline sector, and we know who bought. I was an arbitrage derivative specialist at the time. I said, fuck, they got them. When I found out they bought puts on the airline stocks, which we knew that on day 3, I'm like, oh, they got them. They got them. Forensic Accounting 101. Fuck, a high school kid could fucking track that down in fucking 3 minutes. It's electronic. It's a fucking paper trade. It's an unarguable, documented. They knew immediately. It was George Bush. That phony fucker comes out. That haters, we don't afraid to be when Fox down in Mexico, I love it, says, yeah, he's a cowboy, all right. I took him to my ranch. He was afraid of the fucking horses. Fraud, just like Glenn Beck. Fraud. I believe that Fox News is an operation by the CIA, and this is my own idea. I don't know this, but I believe it's called Foxconn. And I think one day it will come out that it's Foxconn. They're terrorists. Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, the whole Fox News dichotomy. The Mormons play ball. KSL here, who's the base mate, they play ball. They beat the drum so hard on kill, 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 mass murder, freaking let's use nuclear weapons, which we used white phosphorus on our own man in Fallujah. Why do you think the whistleblower on the freaking exposed who was really killing Iranian scientists, who was really pulling that? Oh, we're going to put that whistleblower in prison, Holden says, the biggest pussy black man who ever walked. Barack Obama's like this. Here's what Barack Obama is. And not that this has ever happened to me. Not that this has ever happened to me. You're a young guy, 20, 21, sexually motivated. You meet this female, she's not down, and you're like, oh my God, this is the sexiest, most hottest, beautiful thing I've ever seen. This is Edie Sedgwick. This is Raquel Welch. This is Bordeaux. This is a young Pamela Anderson, just a body, just a smile, just a personality, just flows sexuality, just oozes from their aura. Everybody's like, oh my God. You're at a party. She grabs you by the hand, starts kissing you, says, let's go to my house. Okay. You're so excited, your engine's just revving, you're going crazy. You go there, you're ripping each other's clothes off. It's not a girl. That's Barack Obama. American? Not. Raised by neoconservative white bank examiner white people in Hawaii, Kansas. Michelle? Yeah. I'll trade Michelle any day for Barack. I wish she was president. You know, all the first ladies. We've had great first ladies. Even Laura Bush is a good person. Barbara Bush, a good person. Pat Nixon, all the way down through. Incredible people. Their husbands? Puppets. Puppets for the Queen's Army. They let them in the club, and we're in the club because we let them. Skull and crossbones, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Because Hamilton, we fought this then. Abraham Lincoln was a scholar of Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton, the orphan from Scotland, read nothing but Greek tragedies as a boy. He watched the slave trade in the Caribbean. He was doing the books for the slave traders at 10, 11, 12 years old. The brilliant genius. And this whole thesis that him and Jefferson hated each other, please. Hamilton took a bullet so that Jefferson could be freaking president. He missed on purpose, by the way, which we know that, which he had danced out of these freaking things so many times. His son missed on purpose. He gave his life just so Jefferson could be president. He told on himself when they teed him up, sex again, the sexuality. I mean, you think about how dirty politics even then. That was a political operative on the other side who was so hated that party so bad that he was willing to have his own wife have sex with Hamilton over and over and over just to ruin his political career, which that's exactly what happened. And Hamilton told on himself. By the way, he paid himself 0.0 when he was head of the Treasury. Paulson robbed it for freaking $400, just like Burr. By the way, Gore is out of Burr's bloodlines. You know, is it DNA? Oh, yeah, it's DNA. But we allow it because we were a tariff. Abraham Lincoln. The war in the South was a usury war. It was a war on tariffs. Who funded the South? The Queen. You can go everyone as McKinley when he was killed. The tariff president. I am the tariff president, and would preach it. Well, we know the so-called anarchists that shot him. We know factually the anarchists now. We've known this for freaking years and years and years and years that she was funded directly by the Queen. I'll fall back to Franklin Roosevelt, the most beloved president in United States history. That's unarguable. He said, he's sitting around the White House with Churchill. By the way, Churchill, a fraud. Read into Churchill's past. How many people did Churchill, when he was head of Scotland Yard, falsely put in prison? The drunken alcoholic fraud who sat back and watched the Russians do all the work. Russia lost 27 million men in World War II. Watched freaking the United States step in and aid the Russians. He said this. They're sitting around at night. This is coming right from Franklin Jr. He's a boy. He was with his father all the time. I think he was very young then. I got to tell you, Winston, I went to England when I was 8 years old. I saw Queen Victoria. I hated the old witch. I hate everything that England stands for. I hate the monarchy system, and all Americans hate the monarchy system. It is quintessentially American to hate the English system. We are not the English system. We're taking that system apart. Winston choking down here, you're flying in the face everything Mother England has ever stood for. Yeah, you got that right. But I got to tell you, Franklin, I got to tell you, I know if I don't support you and go along and play ball with you, I go down just like the rest of the inbred family. The seven people, you don't think Funnelton to the top? 1916, in your head. One family ruled the entire world. One inbred monarchy family from Austria spread out. Well, they still stand. Don't you think it's ironic that baby's name George? As I wrote in my book, my post-ignorance book in 2010, The Return of King George. That's exactly what it is. What was the count? We fought it back with tariffs. Tariffs, which is an old philosophy that goes back 1,000 years. Milton Friedman, what a fraud, what a terrorist. And Ryan Greenspan, what a terrorist. The market, as you're trading and you have your money that goes in, it's important. I told you to buy Tesla at $12. Told you to sell it at $180. I would sell it right now. Yeah, well, it'll go higher maybe, but that's a hell of a return. You know, I told you to short gold at 1900 on the triple leverage down. I told you to short silver on the triple leverage ETF. We have triple leverage ETF. You can even trade options on them. Is it a casino? Oh, fuck yeah, it's a casino. It's like somebody says, you as a derivative trader. Well, you guys are playing for gambling with our money. Really? Then why do you give us your fucking money? Really? Are you that fucking stupid? Yeah, people are. You hand over your money to the 401k to these freaking people. I was a wealth protection guy. I fucking hedged that Lung Association's portfolio. The good traders of Wall Street, I mean, there was plenty of strong, powerful people on Wall Street who did the right thing. They're gone. They're all gone. Just like everything else. Yeah, you teabaggers on the far right, the same people saying all this orchestrated. Remember, you don't want taxes on trades. You're the one that stopped from trading the billionaires. Apple has $200 billion parked offshores. Let's think about this. And you support them. You won't say, hey, close loopholes on the tax holes. Freaking tax these creeps. Put tariffs on. No, you participate in slavery just like you've always participated in slavery. You believe it. You believe it. I don't fucking believe it. I'm like Martin Luther King. I'm like Alexander Hamilton. I'm like Harriet Beecher Stowe. I'm like Abraham Lincoln. I'm like McKinley. I'm like FDR. I'm like John Kennedy. I believe in their philosophy. Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy. I believe in their philosophies. Usury is evil. Jesus Christ threw the money changers out of the temple. You don't get it. I stood in Times Square. I fucking stood in Times Square. They don't let anybody in that cage. With the Tiananmen Square, the actual people from Tiananmen. Look it up. I got beet juice. And I would drink red beet juice. And I would say, hey, come here. Is that a Apple product you have in your hand talking on the phone? Yeah. How do you like drinking the blood of Chinese children? How do you like it? My shirts that we made, by the way, Eric Jordan, the world-class designer, who is the Michael Jordan of graphics designs, who fled California, who lives down under, he designed those for free and built those for free. They're made by American companies. I do not participate. We had this conversation, my daughter. You can talk to your mom from even clear back then. Christmas time, all of it, even when I was filthy, stinking rich and I was a millionaire, I refused to buy new products. I refused to buy foreign slave for me. I used to buy a new GM every single year. I had a bumper sticker, one of those little hungry, eat your foreign car. When they made stuff here, now GM, they go back. As America goes, GM goes. Oh yeah. They just moved their operation to China and destroyed labor. This is nothing more than redistribution of wealth to the 1%, and you are the reason why. You can't have a conversation. They just moved their factories to China. There's nothing American about GM, Caterpillar, Apple. They extort us. They make all this wealth off us, but they don't put anything back. They park their money offshore. Grover Norquist, there's another terrorist. He says you can't, who is that fucking punk? Really? And you fucking you act like he's God. Ryan, That little Eddie Munster-looking piece of shit. Anne Rand, an atheist from Russia, a science fiction writer who was on public assistance for decades with her husband. Really? Really? You incorporate Milt Freeman, that terrorist? Wow. Wow, the ignorance is grotesque. We haven't had a man in the White House since JFK. And you remember, and look it up, 1963, July 26, when he signed the open-air test. They killed my father. They tried to kill me before I was even born, those open-air tests. Listen to it. Listen especially towards the end. He talked about leukemia. Remember this. His wife was very much younger than him. You, Rachel Carson, the greatest environmentalist of human. You don't think one person can make a difference? Oh, at least I try in a logical way. We can't go on with suspicious minds. To Jan, Christina, we can't quit. Don't you know what it's doing to me when you won't believe? I can't give up on you because I love you too much. We're caught in a trap. Yeah, we're all caught in the fucking trap now. The nuclear cartel trap. We can't avoid it. And these fucking people that think, oh, they're all the money another minute can buy, tell that to Steve Jobs. By the way, Steve Jobs was a health-conscious nut, a germaphobe. He had his whole life, long before he got cancer. He was a juicer. He did all the right things. Maybe over the top. That's my philosophy about the wolf spirit, Russell means. The Native Americans, the Cherokee, is right there in Knoxville. It says on the wall in the East Tennessee Museum, which is a grand, magnificent museum. From hunting grounds to plowshares, paddling canoe, the Cherokee himself quotes in there. The Cherokee get it. There's everything is cellular to the atom and to the DNA. The wolf spirit, the only thing surviving in Chernobyl are wolves. Danish, I had a dream right before I got cancer. I knew something was wrong. It was almost like this electricity. I couldn't figure it out. You know, I was really strong, really healthy. And I was like, what the fuck is the matter with me? I had this dream, and I was gambling. I reached in my pocket, and I was out of money. I just threw some change in a machine, and I won $12. I'm like, so I just punched it. There was this giant slot machine. I just put the whole $12 and just played it all one pool. And I lined up 4-4. Then these 4 incredible, ugly icons. Now that I know they were cancer tumors. And it just started spitting out money. It was the most euphoric dream I ever had. It was like the day I won $100,000 on Mind That Bird on a $300 bet on the Kentucky Derby. Which, by the way, that's complicated how I bet that horse. I hit a hole-in-one the night before in a dream, and I don't play golf. I did when I was young. Golf is a sport for young kids and old men. I'm neither. That dream, it spit out as the most utopic dream I ever had with the cancer tumors on it. I clung to that dream. And then Vincent Hansen right here, as I argued with all these doctors, I got in to see him. I want to tell you a quick story about Vincent Hansen, the guy who saved my life. You know, wow is all I can say about that guy. His house was broken into. Everybody knows him. He's a famous guy in this town. Really famous. He hasn't retired because there's nobody to pick up. He could have retired a long time ago. He's a true Christian. He reminds me of Megan Rice so much. He reminds me of the old Christians who raised me, who were communal. They were very communicative people. Socialist? Oh, beyond socialist. I mean, the church welfare farm, the system, everybody helped everybody. Everybody looked out for everybody. When I grew up here, you know, the sophisticated, beautiful, incredible women, this town was rich. Loving, smart, intelligent, beautiful. Oh my God, the women here, the men here were so sophisticated and so loving. That's him. He's old school here. Not now. Now it's Mike Lee, the fraud, house in foreclosure, as he's introducing a balanced budget, the phoniest fraudster in human history, which you can see right online when he lied to me. Vincent Hansen got his house broken into by 2 young kids. They were 18 years old, and, they destroyed family heirlooms. I mean, just stripped everything. He has so much clout in this town. The judge, ready to hammer and send him away to prison for a very long time. Vincent Hansen says, can I speak at sentencing? Of course. He got up and he says, I would love to ask the court one thing, that you do not even put these kids on probation. You don't do anything to them. You let them go. You let them go and just ask them to try to do better. This is the power this guy has. The judge, he wouldn't do that for anybody else. You sure you want that? Yes, sir. The judge did it. Those two kids to this day take their children up to his house. They spend Christmas together. This is the guy who saved my life. He overruled Silverman. He argued with Silverman. He told me, Kevin, when I went in there, he says, I've listened to your rants about Downwater. I grew up in central Utah. My brother and my father both died of thyroid cancer when I was young. We are downwinders, and these people don't understand this. He understood. Who's going to believe that leukemia is in a tumor wrapped around your lower bowel, choking you off, killing you? Nobody believes it, but it happens a lot. It's called OS de novo, and it's a killer from hell. Those aggressive tumors, for some reason, they present in that cocoon in the tumor. If you have the surgery, it seeds. He hypothesized, even the bone marrow biopsy, they go into your hip, I've had multiple of them. He hypothesized, even then it was inconclusive. He hypothesized, Kevin, I think maybe you're right, because I found a YouTube video with 14 views out of Cedars-Sinai talking about the pathologist doing the carcinoid cancer slicing and how he felt the more they get it wrong, they get it often. They get it right. It is the power of this genre, YouTube. People don't get it. They don't get it. It'd be incredible. The most powerful information genre in human history on Balco. I get it. I see it. It's instantaneous. When I was at the San Onofre hearings that I helped organize on 2/12 a year ago, very, very sick. Every person in that, people come up to me and says, I want my picture taken with you. Whatever. Because they knew me from my YouTube rants. And I changed the dynamic at San Onofre. That's not my words. That's Barbara Boxer's staffer's words. By the way, Diablo Canyon on Valentine's Day, Lonnie Clark picked that day because she says it's about love, not hate. The poetry of anger. I'll be on the pier to Via Pier early that morning, Valentine's Day morning. We'll organize there, and we will call attention to Diablo Canyon, the most dangerous nuclear reactor on the face of the earth. Right there. And all you pro-nuclears, I want you to know one fucking thing. One thing. Yeah, okay, say you can handle low-level radiation, so-called, when it's not low-level. We're going to get one here in the United States. It's not a matter if, it's when. And when we get one, just remember, for hundreds of miles in a circle around that, at least, become uninhabitable forever. Have you ever been toward Diablo Canyon, sis, Via Pier? Have you ever been to San Onofre Beach? I spent so much time on San Onofre. You're talking some of the most beautiful landscapes on Earth. On Earth. Yeah, let's take it out of the freaking equation. Even if you can handle, which you can't, arrogant fucks who watch these people die of leukemia. Oh, I did a radio show with this fucking punk in Tennessee. This old punk actually laid his gun next to me and had it actually pointed at me, trying to intimidate me. I hope he shows up here one day. Let him try to intimidate me here on my ground. He tried to tell me, he tried to talk expert. Oh, they measured in servants and blah, 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 and he was a dumb fucker. Can't you see what you're doing to me? We can't go on together with suspicious minds. We can't. And I don't want them. You YouTubers out there that are worried about YouTube counts, Thomas Ackerman, the great artist that he is. What the fuck? And these trolls and rats with their fucking knee-jerk comments, it's part of the art. Let them fucking be the fucking morons they are. Let them be. It's not how many are watching, it's who's watching. The intellectual army. My post-ignorance army is very, very real. I organize it. And I will say this to everybody, the philanthropists who are out there, the people who sit and stare at their millions of dollars, and they give it to this fucked up cause, the Ken piece of shit at Woodholes, or Helen Caldecott, or Arnie Gundershield, which Arnie Gundershield has ruined so much of my work because the passive-aggressive got involved. Hill in Utah. These creeps. All your money, you're sitting there. You've had the opportunity to throw in with me. I asked for somebody to partner with me. I asked. Let's set up. Let's get together and let's organize this in a real true way because I'm going to make a difference. I am going to be a modern-day Rachel Carson. And people said that, and I said, I'm not going to marry. I'm going to live as she died. But when she died, she changed the world. She changed the world. Because John Kennedy, a man's wife, that beautiful woman that she was. She laid that book on his desk one morning and said, either you read that or don't ever call on my bed again. He read it. It changed his world. He knew he was just like Martin Luther King in 1959. He came out so hardcore against freaking nuclearism. Read what he said. Read what he said. The greatest violation to human rights ever. Dorothy Day. Dr. Rice. Oh, who is their protege? Who is the person? I'll say this about Mary Evelyn Tucker. And me and her had an incredible conversation. The ecological studies chair at Yale, the retired beautiful Megan Rice's beautiful friend who gave that incredible speech in that courtroom, was so powerful. We had a long conversation with the greatest, most spiritual potluck in human history, which I was at. I says, where is the ecological studies at Yale on Fukushima? Yeah, good question, Kevin. Where are they? She said, you read those lines from that hearing. You listen to what she said. She quotes Gandhi. The great lineage, she says, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Mandela. But then she says, Megan Rice is that lineage. Oh boy. And you don't see that an 84-year-old nun is being tortured by the repressors, and you are the culprits who empower the repressors. You're haters. You want everybody in jail. You want to kill everybody. You carpet bomb up people in Iraq. You rip Saddam's head off. Saddam Hussein, who we propped up to fight against them bad Iranians when we killed their president. The CIA murdered their president to prop up the Shah, the Western freaking oligarch, to extract their natural resources. Saddam Hussein never did one single thing to one America, not one. And they lied about weapons. Colin Powell, that Uncle Tom, he's been passed. He's the greatest Uncle Tom in human history. Was Colin Powell. He's been passed by two guys now, John Holdren and Barack, Republican, neocon, Dick Cheney's eighth cousin. By the way, that was Ancestry.com here, because we believe in genealogy here. We believe in our roots here. Oh, boy, do we. That's one thing that Mormons get right. The whole culture, not just Mormons, the culture of Utah. He is Dick Cheney's cousin. That's a fact. Look it up. You know, all your bullshit. Oh, you're not, oh, give me a break. You go to Lunacyville, Puppet Masterville. There are three quintessential tools that have always been used in this country. Strip away the power from these 1%, Bill Gates, creepy, mass-murdering, evil bastards. And remember the Justice Department? Janet Reno took them on. She busted them up, but Bush reversed it when he stole the election. Usury laws. Oh, what's usury? Oh, you call yourself a Christian, you evangelicals, you Mormons, all of you? Yeah, you're real Christian. You don't know what usury is. The pillar of Christianity. What's a usury law? Look it up. Antitrust laws. Haven't enforced them. Bust these monsters up. Tariffs. We imposed a tariff right now, say 25-30% on using slaves in China, which you're willing to participate because you love slavery. You love it. You never were against it. You love it. You believe in incarcerating people for doing nothing wrong. You believe in torturing an 84-year-old woman. She's been tortured. Due process. You believe in the Patriot Act, which backdoored everything we ever fought, bled, and died for in this country. The Unpatriot Act backdoored the entire Constitution. All of it gone. Not just your Second Amendment fairy tale bullshit and the First Amendment. You don't even know what the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th is. You have no clue. The Constitution's been amended 27 times. We left the Ninth Amendment open because Jefferson and Hamilton had such brilliant, pragmatic geniuses that they were. They left the door open because they could not hypothesize future cultures. They knew that. Well, yeah, let's go back. Everybody be a farmer when we have 320 million people on this freaking continent. Of course, I guess these guys are thinning that herd out real fast, huh? God's will. Tim Shell, thou mayest. East of Eden, John Steinbeck, another incredible humanitarian. My videos are literature. You don't see it. You don't see the art. You don't see it. That's okay. You don't see that Megan Rice is the greatest story in America in probably 100 years. Maybe ever. Maybe ever. You don't see. You get all hyped up about Nelson Mandela when we have our own Nelson Mandela sitting in a prison cell named Megan Rice. but you don't see it because you're in your Dogma SNUGGIEs and you refuse to come out of it because you don't want to read a book. You're working too long? Oh, yeah. You buy into the Ayn Rand philosophical mentally ill idealism of the little monster child, Brian. The ignorance is, that's the only thing that idiot Donald Trump has got right. And that is, well, there's another thumbprint in there, one of the greatest fraudsters in human history. I mean, what a fraud that guy is. Go bankrupt and then get so much debt, leverage up so much debt, just threaten the bank. Say, hey, go ahead. You over-leveraged me. I conned you and borrowed so much money that I'll bury your bank now. So you have to borrow me more. Ran the gamut with it. He ran the table with it. The only thing he's got right is tariffs. Of course, look at the fraud he is. He's on one of the talk shows. They look at the flap and the tag he's on the shirt he's wearing. Made in China. Don't fucking talk it, walk it. I don't buy goods from China. Never have. I don't. Now, how do you avoid it? People say, oh, we can't do it. The thrift store industry is gigantic. And it's quality stuff. My tripod from the 50s. Wow. Try breaking that thing. You know, back when I was a plaster, Marshalltown trowels I would always buy. I mean, I would go hard I would wear several pairs of boots a year, multiple wheelbarrows, 10,000 frescoes. That sun across my back, that's my soul. I look at that hawk and trowel on my kitchen table every day as the nuclear cartel took that away from me, too. That trial would last me literally years, thousands of jobs. Wear it down. I got to the point at the end of my classroom career, I couldn't get a trial to last through one job. So you keep going for your junk. You keep buying your fucking junk. Not me. I'll shop around and I'll find you stuff. There are people like the shirts that we wear. Our Post-Ignorance shirts, the Post-Ignorance Project, they're made in America. Their shops in Brooklyn. Their shops in California. They're out there. So, oh, we can't. No, you will. You are the slave owner. You love freaking abusing slaves. It's the same conversation in the antebellum South. 99% of people in the so-called Christian community says, oh, we're doing these black people a favor. I said, we feed them. We house them. Oh, easy. Not me. I don't care what is in popular culture. I never fucking did. I never did. Because I was born knowing wrong for right. And I won't go on with a suspicious mind. I'll go on with a confident mind. And I will live with the wolf spirit. And if you don't think, yeah, my Dr. Mitchell from Long Island, my group of doctors, she says to me, Kevin, yeah, diet's important. Your exercise is big important. And these are brilliant. They treat the sickest of the sick. The Hail Marys with no hope. The greatest survival rate of AML leukemia in the world is in that unit. Kevin, it's your spirit and time that will save you. You need time. It's the energy of your cells from the good fight. Now, will it still take you? Oh, yeah. It took Paul. You know, I go back to some of my old videos, and there's my lifelong, close, loving, beautiful friend, Paul. Beautiful, incredible man. Incredible, brilliant man. It took him. He got sick the same time as me in the same place. It took Carla. She did all the right things. It takes a lot of them. But we fight and we try. We try to get our wolf spirit to survive like the wolves do in Chernobyl. We try. But when they pile on, Fukushima, somehow people have incorporated this tuna study. See, we don't know the migration pattern of tuna. No one knows. The silver streak. You know, talk sailors and the romance with the tuna. Oh, that's why I used to eat it. To put it into my body and make me powerful and strong. Stand tuna? Oh boy, not now. Not now. You people say, oh, the fish are safe. Remember this. They caught a fish off the coast of Fukushima over a year and a half ago, with 16,000 times the so-called safe limits. Fish swim. Stand tuna, see in Diablo Canyon, Valentine's Day with love on the pier to Via. We'll set up shop there in the morning. We'll go from there in an organic way. Don't eat fish. I mean, seriously. Stand tuna. I love all you guys. We fight the good fight.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311.